The Phantom of Echo Street. The Louisiana air hung heavy with humidity as I stepped off the bus onto the tarmac of my new Air Force Base assignment. It was 2006, and I was fresh-faced and eager to begin my military career. Little did I know that the horrors awaiting me would haunt my dreams for years to come. From the moment we arrived, whispers of strange occurrences and ghostly sightings circulated among the troops. There was talk of a mysterious man in a top hat who stalked a narrow dirt road on the outskirts of the base, vanishing into thin air when approached. Others spoke in hushed tones of a crazed individual who had been struck by a patrol car, only to disappear into the dense woods nearby, leaving no trace behind. But it was the tale of Echo Street that truly chilled me to the bone. On my second night of duty, my senior airman partner regaled me with the tragic story of a little girl who had died decades ago during the construction of the base's storage facility. According to legend, she had been visiting her father at work, playing atop one of the partially built structures when she lost her footing and plummeted to her death. They say her spirit still wanders Echo Street, my partner said, his voice low and ominous. Some nights, you can hear her crying out for her daddy. I tried to brush off the story as mere base folklore, but something about it lodged in the back of my mind, a seed of unease that would grow into full-blown terror in the years to come. Fast forward 3 years, I had all but forgotten about the ghostly tales of my first few weeks on base. The storage facility had been mostly decommissioned, with only a few areas still requiring nightly patrols. It was on one such patrol that my encounter with the unexplainable would occur. The night started ordinarily enough. My partner and I were assigned an old cattle truck for our rounds, our usual vehicle being in the shop for maintenance. The irony of patrolling a high-security military installation in a vehicle more suited for transporting livestock was not lost on us, and we shared a few laughs as we began our shift. We had already completed 2 of our 3 required checks of the storage facility without incident. As 4 a.m. rolled around, we decided to tackle our final patrol. The process of entering the facility was time-consuming, involving the opening and securing of 2 massive gates. Once inside, the area took on an eerie quality. Rows upon rows of abandoned structures looming in the darkness, their windows like hollow eyes staring out at us. As we made our way through the facility, an inexplicable feeling of unease began to creep over me. The air seemed to thicken, pressing down on us with an almost physical weight. Even the rumble of our truck's engine and the faint music from the radio seemed muffled, as if something was trying to smother all sound. We turned onto Echo Street, the very road from the ghostly tale I had heard years ago. Halfway down the street, as we approached the exact structure where the little girl had supposedly fallen to her death, an otherworldly silence descended upon us. It was in this moment of unnatural quiet that I heard it, a sound that would haunt my nightmares for years to come. It started as a faint moan, barely audible at first. But as we drew closer to the structure, it grew in volume and intensity. The sound was unlike anything I had ever heard before, a chilling, guttural groan that seemed to emanate from both inside and outside our vehicle simultaneously. It was as if we were surrounded by dozens of unseen entities, all crying out in anguish and despair. "Do you hear that?" I whispered to my partner, my voice trembling with fear. His face had gone pale, his knuckles white as he gripped the steering wheel. "What the hell is that?" he muttered, his eyes wide with terror. The moaning grew louder, more insistent. It reminded me of the horrifying sound made by the ghostly girl in the movie, The Grudge, a comparison that did nothing to ease my rapidly mounting panic. The noise seemed to press in on us from all sides, filling the cab of the truck and echoing in our ears. Without a word, my partner slammed the truck into gear and floored the accelerator. We tore down Echo Street at breakneck speed, the cattle truck swaying dangerously as we rounded curves. But even as we fled, the ghostly wailing seemed to follow us, growing in intensity with each passing second. We burst out of the storage facility, barely taking the time to secure the gates behind us. As we sped back towards the main part of the base, neither of us dared to speak. It was as if breaking the silence might somehow summon whatever malevolent force we had encountered back on Echo Street. When we finally reached the safety of the populated areas of the base, we immediately requested a meeting with our flight chief. To our surprise, he didn't dismiss our story or accuse us of sleep-deprived hallucinations. Instead, his face grew grave.